Hi, I'm Christina Tidwell. I'm a registered nurse and holistic health coach and founder of Live Well with Christina. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about overwhelm and conflicting dietary theories and information overload. So, no matter where you are on your healing journey, whether you have just started to dive into exploring how diet and lifestyle might affect how you feel, or if you've been on this journey for quite some time now, it's likely that at some point you have experienced some overwhelm. It's great because we have so much information available to us now about diet and lifestyle and how what we put into our body can affect how we feel on a daily basis. It's wonderful. There's a ton of great resources out there. At the same time, it can be a little bit overwhelming because there are a lot of conflicting dietary theories out there, and it can be a little much to figure out what's going to work best for us. So, how do you do it? How do you figure out what's going to work best for you when one day you get online and you might hear that adopting a 100% vegan diet is the best way to lower inflammation and have more energy. And the next day you hear, oh no, it's the ketogenic diet, or it's this, it's that. Coffee's good for you. No, coffee's horrible for you. So there's a lot of conflicting dietary advice out there that can make us want to pull our hair out if we're getting, different advice day to day. And the reason why someone might present information with it where they are so adamant about one way of eating or living or being is because that is what's worked for them. And what I have learned over coaching hundreds of clients is that there is no one size fits all approach. And we are all very, very different when it comes to what is going to make us thrive. So recently I did an interview with Mickey Trescott of Autoimmune Wellness. And I asked her specifically this question: how do you deal with the overwhelm of all this conflicting dietary advice out there? And what do you tell your clients? Because it's something that comes up a lot. And the short answer that she told me was, what you have to do is the most important piece is start to listen to your body and cultivate this connection between, this having this knowledge of what you put into your body and how you feel. So we're really used to looking outside of ourselves externally for information about how to live, what to eat, whether that be through counting calories or adopting strict diets. We're really used to, getting this information externally. The piece that's oftentimes missing is this internal piece of really being able to evaluate what we're putting in our body, what changes we're making, and how it's making us individually feel. So what works for me is going to be different than what works for you. So how do we begin to cultivate this connection? This idea, listen to your body or tuning in, can sound kind of nebulous or hard to hold on to, but there are some really concrete ways to do this. And this is something that has been the most important part of my own personal healing journey, and something that I help all of my clients cultivate and work through because it is the key to everything. I had a client recently who told me that she felt as though she didn't have any nerve endings. And when we were evaluating her symptoms, I would say, okay, with dairy, how does dairy make you feel in general? And she'd say, honestly, Christina, I don't know. My family makes fun of me that I don't have nerve endings because if it's really cold or if I'm hungry or if I'm tired, I don't really know it or pay attention until someone tells me or brings it up, hey, are you cold? Then I might be able to tune in and say, oh yeah, I guess I am. And this is not because she didn't actually have nerve endings. It's just because over a period of time, she had kind of learned to quiet down or stifle these messages that her body was trying to tell her. Partly, she shared with me, because her needs had to come second when she was caring for a family, so she really didn't have time to pay attention to what her body was asking her for. But also, she had begun to really look outside of her for all of the information. When she had tried different diets, like a Weight Watchers diet or restricting calories, she had kind of been counting all these different things externally, and when she would feel hungry, she would try and suppress that. So it kind of carried over from there. So we worked on really concrete ways to cultivate this connection between what you're putting in your body and how you're feeling. So there's 3 really good ways to start that I'm going to share with you today. The first is just doing a 5-second body scan throughout the day a few times. I like to do these body scans before meals because it helps me to tune in, helps improve digestion, and allows me to just slow down and scan how I'm feeling. You can ask yourself the questions: how am I feeling? Where am I holding tension? What are my symptoms right now? Is that pain, headache, stiff joints, tummy ache, anything? And what is my energy level? That can be a good point to check in on as well. Just doing that for about 5 seconds 3 times a day really starts to cultivate that connection. The second point is getting quiet. So silence is not empty, it is full of answers. And just spending about 10 minutes in quiet allows our body to hear the signals, allows us to hear the signals that our body is trying to send us more clearly. We can, throughout the day, gather a lot of mental clutter. And so if we allow ourselves a little bit of silence and quiet, oftentimes a lot of things come up and we're able to pay attention more when we slow down for a minute. You can do this by breathing, deep belly breathing, by meditation, or literally by sitting and doing nothing and staring at a wall. You can download apps like Calm or Insight if you're as an introduction to meditation, or you can simply set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes and give yourself a gift of that silence. The third piece that I really like doing is a 5-day food and symptom journal. So you'll be writing down what you eat and how you feel. And it can be really illuminating and give you a lot of information that you may not have thought about. And you only really need to do this once. And it is really good at strengthening that connection between what we're putting in our bodies and how we feel. So evaluating your symptoms throughout the day, but also writing down what you're eating, how much water you're drinking, how much you slept, so you can look back and start to do a little bit of detective work there. So this is a process, and it's like strengthening a muscle. So be really patient with yourself when you're doing this, but it will be so worthwhile if you start this process so that when you come across new information, you're able to really evaluate how it's going to make you personally feel. And you're able to have a baseline of knowledge about, where your body's at, where your symptoms are at, if you are trying and experimenting some new things. So I hope this helps. It's been really key. These 3 steps have been really, really key for me in my healing journey and a lot of my clients. And if you want to talk more about how you can actually apply this into your life and finding a plan that's going to work specifically for you to cut through that overwhelm, I would be happy to talk further with you. I always offer free 30-minute discovery sessions for people that want to get really clear on their health goals and figure out a plan of action specifically for you. So you can email me or you can click the button in my blog here to schedule a session, and we can talk further about how to cut through all that overwhelm and stress and feel calm and confident making health choices moving forward. Okay, thank you.